Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla and the new show Overflow episode 46. Despite mainstream media reporting on demand problem for Tesla, the Berlin factory manager says they are ramping up as they see good sales in all markets. And Michael Dunn is stunned by the Chinese invasion he saw at the Munich Auto Show. But I also think people don't see the whole picture of what has already happened. And a new study shows that Giga casting not only saves in production of the vehicle, but also saves on vehicle repairs. And we have some more backtracking from the legacy automakers, but Tesla is also cancelling a version of the Cybertruck. And Lucid revealed that the company plans to roll out 3 midsize models. And Elon Musk just bought a lot more Tesla shares. All of this and much more in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
And as everyone is screaming about demand problem for Tesla in Europe, the Berlin factory is ramping up as they are seeing good sales. Tesla says it sees very positive signals from its Grünheide plant despite challenging market condition. We are currently experiencing a very good sales situation and have therefore revised our production plans upwards for the third and fourth quarter, plant manager told the German press agency. He says that Tesla is seeing positive signals for all markets we supply. We are looking at how the market is developing and continue to see positive signal for all the markets we supply. Of course, this extends far beyond Germany. We supply well over 30 markets and definitely see a positive trend there. So that is very nice to hear that Tesla actually sees a strong sales trend at the moment in all their markets and are gearing up for a strong Q3 and Q4. But we can also see that electric vehicles achieved a record market share in Norway of 98.4% in August 2025. The Tesla Model Y took the first place in the model ranking by a wide margin, as Sawyer shared on X. So in the market that is basically 100% BEVs and have all the models that are available in Europe, so very high competition, Tesla is still leading the way. And as you can see, it's not even close. The closest best-selling EV is selling almost 3 times less than Tesla's Model Y. But Tesla Asia also shared another incredible month for Tesla in Asia, thanks to all our supporters. Stay tuned for more good news from other Asian markets. And here they share that Tesla is car brand number 1 in Korea in August, that Tesla is the top brand of private vehicle registration in August in Hong Kong, and Tesla is the best-selling electric vehicle brand in Macau in July and August, and the Model Y was number 1 EV sales import luxury car sales in Taiwan. But Roland also reported that Tesla sold 15,400 units last week in China, which continue to rise week over week over week. So let's see if they will rise again this week or drop a bit like they did this week last year. But Tesla's Model Y was in August China's number 1 best-selling SUV again across all categories, including internal combustion engine vehicles. The only vehicle that sold more units was the tiny Geely Star Wish, which sells for $9,200. This makes the Model Y the number 2 out of all available models, comprising of 650 different new vehicle models. Yeah, Tesla is doomed because of all the competition in China. Well, if 650 different models isn't enough to beat Tesla's Model Y, I think it's safe to say the competition might have come, but it doesn't really affect Tesla that much. But the old guys. So a lot of good things are happening for Tesla all around the world in EV sales. So it will be very interesting to see how many cars Tesla have actually been able to produce in Q3 and how many they were able to deliver. With the boost in the US, with the EV tax credit going away in October and the Model Y adding some extra attention and demand for Tesla in China, and combined with Andrew's comments on Tesla seeing strong sales in all markets, we could see some really good numbers in Q3 and Q4. I doubt that we will see close to that 500,000 units we have been talking about before. That would be a big surprise for me anyway. I think we could be more about 450,000 units, maybe even close to last year's 469,000 units. That would also be a great achievement if they can do that. But with the lag in inventory, as we are still down about 72,000 units in production in the first half of 2025, it will be very hard for Tesla to get to last year's numbers in Q3. But we will see what will happen. But let me know what you think down below. Where do you guess Tesla will end up in Q3? And in an ideal world, surfing the internet should be as private as a whispered secret. Unfortunately, that is not the reality we live in. With just a click, our data can be compromised. That is why I always rely on a VPN security. With a VPN, neither hacker nor internet provider can spy or steal your data. Everything from email to banking details is encrypted, allowing me to focus on my work without security concerns. Today I'm excited to introduce our sponsor, Private Internet Access, or PIA, a top-tier VPN provider. PIA stands out as one of the largest and most trusted VPNs globally, not just for its extensive network of nearly 30,000 servers, but also for one that is committed to transparency. Their VPN is 100% open sourced, inviting everyone to examine their security and privacy practices, a level of openness almost unmatched in the industry. I personally use PIA during my travels, like when I was in England for my other travel, Nomadic, doing the Olympics, but abroad I couldn't access my Danish TV station. But with PIA, I simply switched my location to Denmark and voila, problem solved. Plus, it is great to access regional specific content on platforms like Netflix, open up a world of entertainment not limited by geography. So watching Netflix without PIA is like paying for a director's cut but only seeing the trailer. But PIA doesn't just mask your IP, it encrypts your entire internet connection, safeguard your digital footprints. This is crucial in an era where our lives is increasingly online, accessible from any device. And it is comparable with all major streaming services, ensuring you can enjoy your favorite shows without restrictions, and on limited devices as well. So what are you waiting for? Take control over your online privacy. By clicking my link in the description, you can secure an 83% discount on PIA, bringing your cost down to just $2.03 a month. Plus, you will get 4 months for free. And it's a risk-free decision with PIA's 30-day money-back guarantee and round-the-clock customer service. So don't miss out on the online privacy we all deserve. Click the link below to protect yourself with Private Internet Access. And a huge thanks to PIA for sponsoring this video. Michael Dawn was at the IAA in Munich and it suddenly hit him. The match may be over before it even begins. As Michael wrote, monster speed, monster scale. China pushes deeper into Europe. A few highlights from this week's Dune Insight newsletter. In the good old days, automakers chose speed or scale to separate themselves from the pack. General Motors and Volkswagen dominated with their size. Honda and Mazda beat you with agility. Never had an industry faced a competitor that was both George Foreman and Sugar Ray Leonard. Never. That is, until now. Chinese vehicles exports are flooding into Europe and over 100 other countries. In July alone, they hit 750,000 units. So that's exported. And never before in the history of the car industry, annual run rate of 9 million. That's 9 million. A total of 15 Chinese automakers and more than 100 Chinese suppliers showed up at Munich. Walking the giant hall of the IAA Mobility 2025 earlier this week, it hit me. The match may be over before it even begins. Will the Germans, Italians and France forge a mighty comeback? Yes, people don't seem to get what is happening right now, even though the last 5 years should show you what is happening. In 2020, the Chinese exported only 1 million cars, and at that point, the biggest exporter of cars was the Japanese, with just over 4 million. But through the last 5 years, the legacy automakers has dropped in export sales, and in 2023, I reported on the big news that China was now the biggest exporters of cars in the world. It was no longer the the German and the Japanese that were fighting for being the biggest exporters of cars in the world, as the Chinese has come out of nowhere and passed them both with about 4 million units exported. But China didn't stop there. In 2025, they exported about 6 million units, and now they just have exported 750,000 units in just 1 month. That is tracking 9 million annually. We have never really seen anything like what is happening right now. The Germans or the Japanese has never been at a scale of what we see the Chinese do in terms of export. I don't think many people realize what the Chinese are doing. Because over the past 5 years, not only did the Chinese grow from basically nothing to 9 million in export capabilities, but they also took on the Western brand in China. And that battle has been bloody for the Western brand, as they have over the same 5-year period lost about 7 million units in sales in China. And Tesla went from about 50,000 to 650,000 units sold in China. So Tesla is actually one of the few that withstood this trend. But that is 16 million units shift in the industry. This is as big as the entire US auto market. That is the second biggest market in the world after China. I don't think many people realize that the Chinese have taken 16 million units in the car industry in just 5 years. And the Chinese are not slowing down. They have become a production powerhouse, and they are now taking on the world while they are pushing out the Western brand of China. In Europe, the Chinese are already sitting on more than 11% of the BEV market here in 2025. And while they are working on getting into the US market, they are focusing on taking on the rest of the world. And a new study shows that BMW's CEO was wrong about Giga castings. What do you know? As not only does the study find it makes the production more efficient and cost effective, but cast construction also saves on vehicle repairs. And you have probably heard from some of the haters saying that Giga casting makes repairs more expensive, even though Lars Morawi from Tesla has been out saying this is not true. It actually makes it cheaper to repair. But the haters usually don't want to listen to anything Tesla has to say. But now a 2-year study by Techcam Research suggests benefits for automakers, consumers and their insurers, because mega casting structure save on vehicle repairs, study finds. Oh no, some haters are going to be so angry now. But Luca also reported Volkswagen held a presentation during the IAA Mobility in Munich, where they announced their new EVs that will adopt Giga casting technology. What do you know? Yes, Tesla has been leading the way, and now the legacy automakers are finally waking up, just like Zhao Changjian or something like that, said a Chinese executive in the automotive industry. Large-scale die cast is poised for significant growth in the automotive industry this year. Using ultra-large die cast machines allow dozens or even hundreds of parts previously required stamping and welding to be die cast in a single operation. Applications are also expanding from a current rear underbody, front engine component and battery tray application. They are gradually expanding into midsections, seat frames, door frames, and even the integration of the entire vehicle body in white. Integrated die casting can significantly improve efficiency, reduce cost, and enhance vehicle performance. As the technology matures and the industry continues to collaborate and innovate, it will expand even faster and encompass more diverse areas. And as Lucas also wrote in his article about this, Giga casting technologies reduce vehicle production costs for automakers while also lowering repair expenses for consumers and insurers, according to a 2-year study on crash testing and damage assessment by the UK-based automotive technology specialist Techcam Research. The study found that Giga casting, currently used by Tesla and dozens of OEM in China, while still in development by the Western, Japanese and Korean OEMs, can significantly decrease repair costs and potentially reduce vehicle write-off for insurers. A key advantage of Giga casting lies in designing components with repairability in mind from the outset. outset, says Richard Billiard, TechCamp's Chief Research and Operation Officer. So there you have it, folks. Even though BMW CEO tried to tell everyone back in 2021 that Giga casting had no advantage and would not give Tesla any edge. Well, sorry, Sepse, but this 2-year study would say otherwise. Not only can it reduce cost and efficiency and make the car perform better, but it also makes it less costly to repair. So yet another thing BMW has to catch up with. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. We have some more backtracking from the legacy automakers. As some of you will probably remember, the best EV pickup truck in the world was supposed to come to the market. It was even called the Tesla Cybertruck Killer, of course. But Stellantis Ram EV pickup truck has just been cancelled, as they said. As demand for full-size battery electric trucks slows in North America, Stellantis is reassessing its product strategy and will discontinue development of the full-size BEV pickup. But as Jan from the EV Universe wrote, Step 1, announce making the best EV. Step 2, launch a meh EV. Step 3, blame no demand for EVs in general, not your meh EV particularly, when it flops. Step 4, use it as an excuse to turn back to ICE. So yes, it is easy to announce the best EV in the world when you're never going to make it. So yet another Tesla killer that got killed. But it is not only Stellantis that is seeing some problems with demand for EV pickup trucks though, as Tesla is discontinuing the Cybertruck long-range rear-wheel drive in North America with a starting price of just under $70,000 before any incentives. The long-range rear-wheel drive trim has been completely removed from the online generator, so it seems like no one really wanted the stripped-down version of the Cybertruck, and I completely understand. If I should ever get to buy the Cybertruck, it would be the Beast or at least the all-wheel version, of course. That only costs about $10,000 more than the rear-wheel drive. So let's see if Tesla can ever get the Cybertruck down in price without having to strip it down to something that nobody wants to buy. And just a lovely story about how far Tesla has come from Eric from Drive Protected. You probably remember me recommending their products a couple of years back, and I still do. But as he wrote, just have my 86-year-old grandpa the full Tesla experience this evening. He bought and sold vehicles his entire life. He has seen everything there is to see that has come out of the automotive industry over the last century, and I never seen him so speechless with the tech in the new Model Y. I gave him a full tour of the car, took him for a ride, and let him experience full self-driving for the first time. He couldn't believe how far technology has come over time. I don't think he will give up his 5-speed manual Volkswagen Jetta TDI anytime soon, but he sure was appreciative of what Tesla has become. Yes, Tesla has come an extremely long way from not knowing how to build cars to have something that can even impress the old legends. And Aaron shared on X full self-driving from Shenzhen Airport to home, 0 interventions. Yes, Tesla's full self-driving software just simply works everywhere on planet Earth. Like in Australia as well, as Ollie shared and wrote, full self-driving crosses 10 lanes of traffic, including 2 tram lanes, completing a maneuver I likely wouldn't have attempted. Incredible. Yes, China, Australia, the US, Europe, no matter where, if there is a road or just drivable space, Tesla's cars knows how to drive there. And Tesla has expanded its robotaxi ride-hailing service operation time by 2 hours. The service now runs from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. So Tesla continued to expand their robotaxi service in every aspect of it. And some boring news, as Provoc 1 has emerged, as the Boring Company announced that this completes a 2.26 mile long Las Vegas Loop tunnel connecting the property close to the airport in the south to the Westgate Resort in the north. Along the way, there will be 9 new stations, including the Virgin Hotel and the Hawk Center. And they also shared Provoc 4 is our smartest, fastest and safest tunnel boring machine, and the next iteration, 5, 6 6 and 7 are already being built at the Boeing factory in Texas. The goal is continuous mining, 0 people in tunnel, and their control center almost looked like SpaceX control center. Very, very cool. And we also had Sean, who wrote, "Don't sleep on this company." And Elon replied, "So much boring ahead." And Lucid CEO Mark Winterhoff revealed that for the first time the company plans to roll out 3 midsize models. The first set to debut in late 2026. But more funding is needed for that to happen. As they said, "Our funding is enough to get us into the second half of next year," Winterhoff revealed. But there will be additional funds needed to ensure a midsize lineup can get into production. He declined to discuss what steps might be needed to line up the additional funding, but many analysts have focused expectations on the Saudi Public Investment Fund, which, as of the beginning of this year, held a 64.3% stake in the automaker. To bolster that relationship, Lucid is now setting up an assembly plant in the Mid-East Kingdom. Let's hope they can get more money from Daddy Saudi, and that new car can help them not lose $250,000 on every EV they sell. And Dirty Tesla wrote on X about this huge jumps Tesla's stock price did. Are they realizing robotaxi is real? And Tesla AI replied, "Getting harder to ignore." Yep. And speaking of Tesla stock, we should probably have someone go check on Tim Robbins. Remember how he would get a little boost during the day with the stock app.
Saying on my phone, I know some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So...
That guy literally called the bottom. Very impressive. But yes, I also get a little boost during the day watching the Tesla stock on this app. Even Elon reported Tim's old hateful post here with the Tesla stock at $418. But 2 things will always be true. The haters will hate, and Tesla will always execute. And trying to time the market is not easy, but time in the market is easy. Remember Fred Lambert made an article how he dumped all his Tesla shares at 230 in September last year, and now it is closing in on the legendary 420 mark, where Fred has missed out on something like 80% gain. And the same thing is basically happening with Jeremy, but he is tripling down on his bet against Tesla, saying that people not getting out in 2025 will look back at a lot of regret in a few years, in my opinion. I am willing to take that bet. Well, I'm kind of already are, as I have invested in Tesla, and my honest opinion is that these guys could not have sold at a worse time. I think in a few years Jeremy is the one going to look back with big regrets, but time will, as always, tell. But Elon also wrote, Tesla up 69 to 420 as foretold in the prophecy. Yes, indeed. And even though we have seen Mary Barra sell 40% of her shares in GM, well, like I said, we would never see Elon Musk do that. And then he goes out and does the exact opposite. Elon Musk bought over 2.56 million Tesla's shares in a Form 4 filing worth over $1 billion. Still peanuts for Elon, but very nice. I would love to have $1 billion I could invest in Tesla. But it is actually about 4 years ago Elon last bought Tesla shares in the open market. Very bullish, but also give Elon a lot of voting power on the upcoming voting for Elon's pay package. But anyway, I guess Elon believes in Tesla's future, whereas Mary Barra's believe in GM, well, not so much. That is all we have time for in this Overflow News Show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot so others can find it on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel, or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out as some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as as it comes out, and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and access to all my research charts and spreadsheets, also on bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.